Welcome back to Medical Madness. This week, super special guest, we have Rishabh Gupta, who is an M4 fourth year medical student at the University of Minnesota Med School. He's applying into neurosurgery, which is basically as like competitive as you can get. So good luck to him. This episode is a good one though. You don't want to miss it. We play a game called If I Ruled the World, one of my favorite games inspired by Trevor Noah's What Now podcast, but we do it from a medical POV. And topics for this episode include making psychedelics like LSD more readily available. Could that possibly be about paying primary care more? Like your general physicians, pediatricians, what happens in a healthcare system where they're paid more? And one of my favorite rules that we came up with is mandatory nap time. Why did I ask a student to be on the podcast? Rishabh's been here for 4 years. He knows quite a bit in terms of the healthcare landscape. And whenever I have discussions with him, they are always great discussions. We end up talking a lot about like healthcare issues, healthcare inequalities, stuff like that. So you will see some of that in this episode. So stick around, check out how our interpretations of all these issues play out, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
I'm sorry, baby, I don't mean to be rude. Yeah. I'm just a little different from all these dudes. Okay, they riding waves, me, I'm up on a cruise. Yeah. You feel like me, then you got nothing to prove. I see him trying to do what I do. Yeah. Even my dagger couldn't
relax in the interviews too. I feel like it's been good.
Yeah, awesome. How has interviewing been going?
It's a process. I mean, I think when you're like an M1 to M3, you kind of have a different view of it. Mm-hmm. And then M4 comes around.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's, different for me because mine are all in person, right?
Yeah.
So flying is exhausting. Mm-hmm. For sure. I think
because they're all in person. They're not like med school interviews now.
No, yeah. And the thing is, most residencies are still virtual. And I think you get a good view of like what a program is, even if it's virtual.
Gotcha.
But like, yeah, dude, and you're reading into a lot of what like people are saying, and that I think that part gets pretty tiring.
Okay.
But it's very different than what like step 1 or step 2 is, right? Like you're like in chip loud, you're grinding, you're like, oh my god, I don't want to do this anymore, right? It's not like that anymore. I can do stuff like this without worry about like, oh, am I gonna pass? So yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome. We're recording, right? Awesome. So. Thank you everyone for joining us. This is Rishabh. Welcome to Medical Madness, Rishabh. This is
the new name, right?
The new name.
The new name.
I mean, it used to be called Big Brain Time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? Maybe we should not call it that, just because like it doesn't have any relevance to.
No, but like, why switch it? I was wondering.
No, because dude, it started as like science comedy, so like just general science, because like that made sense, right? Big brain time, like be smart about the shit you're consuming.
Yeah.
There's nuance in it, and then I started transitioning to like the medical stuff. So like I started a season with like Columbia's Department of Surgery. I was doing videos through them for a little bit. So then we had a whole thing where I called it like Medical Madness.
So now it's just going to be that's going to be the new name, huh?
So now I
like it. I mean, it's a good name.
Like Ethan,
I'm biased towards the brain. But
Ethan suggested that I like make that the new name because it like sounded like
you have to update
preppy.
Your Spotify
That's true. I do that.
But I like the name. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
It's generalizable.
And on top of that, like when you actually search up Big Brain Time on like, YouTube or Spotify.
Oh, do you get something else?
Dude, you just get like fucking Markiplier memes.
Oh, really? Why?
I don't.
Dude, that's
because he had like a meme.
I mean, but maybe they'll accidentally like stumble into your content then. Right?
No, but it's not like my content appears on like the 4th page.
Dude, but like, have you ever like typed in a URL and then typed .org instead of .com or something, and it goes to a different page?
Who's scrolling like, 4 pages through YouTube?
Dude, I've been on page 13, man. Like, dude, when you're trying to find, dude, but.
Yeah, so now you can more easily find like if you search up Medical Madness in Spotify podcasts or Apple podcasts, you can find it more easily. It's just better.
It's a good name. I like it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All the credit goes to Ethan, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Ethan is co-producing with me, and he's like behind the camera right now.
Yeah, dude, he needs to make some cover art for you, though. And then...
Ethan is graphic design in your books.
Yeah.
You can say stuff. You don't have to.
Dude, he lost his ability to speak. He's
locked in.
Yeah, no, dude, we're not going to hear a thing.
It's okay. The mics won't pick it up. You can say stuff.
I mean, I'm thinking about putting like a little poster in the middle there.
Yeah.
He's already thinking ahead, man. You guys, this is great, dude.
Dude, I'm behind. I created this shit.
Yeah. He's gonna take over.
My co-producer's gonna take over. I can see it happening.
There's gonna be a coup, and it's gonna be Ethan's. Yeah.
Dynamic duo.
You're right. The dynamic duo, except one's behind the camera right now.
Except,
you kicked him out.
He'll be in. Well, the plan is to get him into future episodes.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I feel like Ethan does this really cool thing where he's like, his questions are very complimentary to mine. So there's a lot of like times I am not able to ask the right question in a certain moment, like, or I have my subset of questions and I just don't cover something.
Right.
And I've always found that even in like pre-interviews and stuff, Ethan kind of like covers that gap.
Look at that.
Like,
dude, he's glazing hard.
He's giving me a lot right now.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, if we get bored halfway, maybe I'll ask him.
Yeah, no, we'll swap spots. Exactly. There we go.
But yeah, man.
All right, so Rishabh, you are an M4, University of Minnesota Med School. You're going through your interview circuit right now.
Yeah.
Any sort of kind of reflection you have going through this interview circuit that maybe other M4s listening or anyone who like doesn't know anything about medicine can like take from it?
Yeah, I think it seems a lot more intimidating than it is. I think the whole like you should prep before the interview thing, I took pretty seriously, but not like going through, you know, a few of them at this point. I honestly haven't thought that the prep was like very useful. It ends up going on this like complete tangent that you could have never prepared for. I mean, like be familiar with your application and stuff, but I mean, in some interviews you're talking about your hobbies and like nothing related to medicine at all. You can't prepare for that.
I've heard like if like someone has put like I'm interested in guitar and I can play XYZ song on their like CV, and in the interview someone has like pulled out a guitar and asked them to like actually.
Oh, I've heard this too.
It.
Yeah, I've heard this too. I think like in stuff like putting languages and stuff down, you have to be careful. Like I don't speak Hindi that well, so I didn't even put it down. I just didn't put it down. You know, like if they started asking me to say stuff, I'd be completely cooked.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I've heard the guitar one actually. Yeah, I think the thing is like people like the hobbies because then it just like is a segue into an actual conversation. You know, makes the person feel a little bit relaxed.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice to pay attention to that section.
Nice.
You know?
And so you're applying into what specialty?
I applied neurosurgery.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you just choose one, right? Like it's not like you apply to as many specialties as you want. Or you
can. I don't know if I know anyone who's done 3. I think that would be
wait, so
3 I know people dual applying is very common.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious what the numbers are, like what percentage of our class is dual applying. But I personally know a few people who are.
Okay.
And I think it's like smart, especially if you're going for a specialty with like a lower match rate, and you don't want to go through like the stress of you know, not matching and all that.
Is
like,
neurosurge match rate like crazy?
You know, all the match rates aren't that bad. It's crazy relative, but I think internationally it's like absolutely atrocious in some places, like 10%. I think here it's around 70%. And so
Are you saying like if you're an IMG,
no,
international medical graduate?
that's a whole nother ballgame where it's like really bad. But I think even domestically, like the amount of people domestically who can end up matching into neurosurgery or into some surgical specialty often, I think it's pretty low. But in the U.S., it's like around 70% is where the most competitive ones are, 60, 70%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So still stressful.
Got it. Where did you do your undergrad?
I did at Vanderbilt.
At Vandy?
Yeah.
Good experiences? Bad experiences?
It's weird because I could
talk shit about Vandy?
No, I could never do that. I'm loyal. No, I think undergrad was, I think like when you're going through it, it's obviously like very difficult, but also very fun. And then when you look back, it's just fond memories. And like I catch myself thinking like, you know what, I wish I could relive those days. And I went back down to Nashville recently, and it's just like weird walking through the campus, and you're like, I've been here. I remember the memories that happened at this exact spot. You're FaceTiming old friends and being like, remember, like this Saturday on this year, what happened, right? So it's good. It was a great experience. Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of M4s here, and they all seem like all the M4s that I know who are like neurosurge oriented all seem to have wanted to do neurosurge since the beginning of med school. Like even prior to getting in.
That was me too.
I know that was you.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. But like why would you have any hypothesis, like why is this a common trend?
Oh, I actually have never thought that. I guess, so for me, I was like pre-law when I entered, and it was the large reason I chose Vandy. Pre-law, or maybe business was in the kind of like consulting IB was in the mix.
Yeah, you messed that up.
That did not happen. But, well, maybe, who knows, right? I mean,
That's
you
true.
never know.
Dual degree options.
Yeah, and also it's like some people, they just go, you know, after a while, while going to consulting and all sorts of stuff.
That's true. Please don't go into consulting.
I don't think I'm ever. I mean, people tell me about the personality for consulting, and I was like, I don't know. Is that a good thing, bad thing? I don't know what that means. But whatever it is, like, I had, like a personal experience which really changed me into wanting to do specifically neurosurgery. But yeah, I haven't ever asked like fellow co-applicants like why. I think everyone just knew very early on. We also don't get much exposure. So I think maybe a part of it is this, right? So if we had a neurosurgery rotation and there's like 5 people, let's say 2 people who are interested in neurosurgery because of being in, like exposed to it early on before med school. And if we had a neurosurgery rotation, maybe like 6 more people would be interested in it after going through that.
Yeah. But then you'd have to argue a rotation for every specialty.
No,
right?
so but I guess the broader point is like, it seems like only people who are interested in beforehand are the ones applying now because there's no exposure in med school. So, but I don't know, maybe it's not true for like urology and stuff like that too. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is a very neuro.
I mean, with ortho, like, I'm interested in ortho at the moment.
So many people.
People are coming in ortho, but that's because, like, it's a competitive specialty.
Yeah.
And I'm not fully, like, sold on ortho yet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still doing exploring at the moment. But, like, there was that piece of advice that I've gotten from you and from others, which is, like, take your most competitive specialty and just start working in that at the moment.
I think that's the unfortunate reality. I wish it didn't have to be like that. But I do think... like I know, someone I work with closely, he switched from pathology to neurosurgery, and now he's taking a research year, and
which is okay.
Which is great.
Which is okay to do. It's great to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
researchers are okay.
Yeah. Said it here first. Research years are great.
Taking time is great.
I did take a research year myself, by the way, between years 1 and 2. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I took a research year. I can get into that.
We can get into that.
Yeah. But he was like in this situation where he was forced to essentially take a research year in order to switch, which is kind of an unfortunate reality nowadays. But so I think people do switch into neurosurgery. It's just not as common.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right. So I wanted to play. We can get to other topics later, but before we jump into that, I feel like a really good discussion would be this game idea that they play on Trevor Noah's podcast. What Now? It's called "If I Ruled the World."
Yeah.
And when I pitched this to you, I remember you telling me you had like a lot of ideas coming to mind.
Dude, yeah, it's like bouncing around right now.
Basically, how the game works. Each of us take turns, and I honestly haven't really done my due diligence and thought of something, so I'm going to try to think of something, but I'll start with you.
Yeah.
I mean, in the spirit of...
if you have a good one, I'll...
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying in the spirit of what you talked about earlier with the thing about United Health Group and all that stuff.
Yeah, we could get to that. Yeah,
I
agree.
That could be a piece of...
Oh, part of my... Okay. Yeah,
how you would do something differently.
Yep, I'll think about that for sure. But in terms of your idea...
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about if you... Basically, the rules are, if you ruled the world...
Yeah.
And this is a medical show, so we're going to try to stick to that kind of realm of imagination.
I got you.
But if you ruled the world, what is one change you would make? And, maybe I'll poke holes in it. And we'll see. And then at the very end, I'll decide if I think it's worthy or not.
Yeah, I think there's... Okay, I'm trying to pick between one of 2 ideas.
We could do both. Honestly.
Yeah, sure, let's do it. So the first one,
this
one is pretty common, I think, but I do believe in it strongly. I think we need to be more preventative than we are as a healthcare system. I don't think we endorse or we don't reimburse in a way that is, in favor of preventative healthcare at all. And so we throw the kitchen sink at the last moment, it feels like.
Yeah.
And a lot of hours and a lot of time and for not much quality of life.
Okay.
And for things that could be pretty prevented.
So what would your kind of rule be?
It would be interesting. I would be I don't know. I don't know what rule could be done.
I mean, you've highlighted a really interesting problem, which
but I think
agree.
Family medicine needs to be paid more, probably. I think the reality is, like, when a med student is trying to choose between specialties, I think people obviously think about salary, and I think they compare it to everything else. No one thinks like this is good enough, right? Because you'll make plenty of money as a family medicine doctor. But I think people inherently just compare it salary-wise with other specialties. And so I think if we bumped up family medicine pay, you would have even more interest in it, even though, I mean, a lot of people go into primary care. So yeah, I think that would be if I ruled the world, that would be one of the first things I'd want to do.
So bump up primary care pay.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder, it's like...
how would you would you have to petition to the hospitals to be like...
I mean, I mean, this is way out of my wheelhouse. I think it's about like probably reimbursing, probably.
Yeah. But then that means shaking up like the entire insurance industry at that point.
And I think also a hard part is even if you have like this whole army of doctors who are trying to push preventative medicine, I think one of the hard parts is that it takes a lot on the patient's end to be preventative, right? Like it's a lot of lifestyle changes, a lot of exercise, a lot of diet changes, medication, taking medications when lab values are off.
Not missing. And then you can also chalk a lot of that up to like social determinants of health. Do people even have the ability to get this stuff?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is education, where it's like, taking a statin for decades might prevent the stroke, but people know what a stroke is, but maybe they don't know how bad it's going to impact their life if they have a stroke, or they think that it's never going to be them, right? So I don't know how to solve that problem, right? Where you get people to, I mean, really commit to taking preventative health, their own preventative health seriously. That's the harder problem.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
there's like a bunch of kind of educational efforts that are like, I mean, I remember in high school having this health class that kind of went really in depth into health, just like good and bad practices. But it's definitely being done at an age where like no one's taking that seriously.
Yeah, and even I've noticed it's like, even when, if I think about my own family, right, like when people close to us get impacted by something devastating,
that's when we care.
That's when we kind of care, but it's only when it impacts the person directly then they really care.
Yeah.
So it's like I've seen people who have a stroke scare and it ends up being like a TIA or something like that, so it resolves and they get back to baseline, but then they take it super seriously.
Yeah.
Or if they survive a heart attack, then they take it super seriously. But even then, some people often don't, right? There's a lot of fear about medications, I think, and stuff too.
Then it comes to the question of like, how are we doing things differently from like the other nations that are? Because it's not a matter of like it's impossible.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a goal that we're like seeing and we're like, yeah, we can't get there. Because other nations are clearly able to do it.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. In your 4 years of med schooling, have you been able to like properly educate patients to kind of like have that frame of mind shift?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I don't know. Like it's hard because as a med student, you actually have very little longitudinal, multi-year following of any patients.
Right.
But I think more again to my own family and like people who aren't physicians in the family, and I think there you really do see that it takes like months of kind of trying to convince someone, and I wonder, I mean, maybe I don't really know much about like stuff going on globally in terms of healthcare and all, but like in my own family, I can see that it's persistence, and then eventually people are like, okay, you're right, I'm going to try it for a month. I'm going to try taking my ACE inhibitor for a month, and if I feel bad, I'll stop it. And if I feel fine, I'll continue to take it. And of course, because it's like very variable side effect profile, people just continue taking it. And so that's the one example of like longitudinal care I can think of, where I feel like it just came down to a battering ram and really just gently trying to convince the person, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm curious. I'm kind of curious what all other countries are doing differently. Part of me wonders if it's also like the food they eat, if they're built around exercise versus cars, stuff like that.
I think it's a large part of that. Like, you've seen that show, like Golden Zones or something like that?
I haven't even heard of it.
I'm probably getting the name of the show
Golden Zones. Blue Zones? I know about Blue Zones.
No, it's Blue Zones, but it's like, it's people who have like Golden consistently live above 100. Yeah. Is
That's
that Blue Zones,
bro? let's
Golden
again,
sounds better.
You heard it here first. Golden zones is what we're gonna just for the rest of this, dude. Just call it.
Just call it golden zones.
Just call it golden zones.
Just cut out that section where I just
It's a golden zone. Gaslight everyone into thinking that blue zones is not a thing. Like
it's only called golden zones.
Dude.
It's never called blue zones.
So what were you saying about golden zones?
I can give them credit though. GoldenZones.org. Golden Zones, inspired by Blue Zones, aims to empower people to live healthy, long, fulfilled lives through 8 pillars of health.
This is what you were talking about, right?
Got him, son.
8 pillars of health?
Fucking 8 pillars.
Yeah,
.org.
That's a lot of pillars of health.
Gotta give them credit.
8 pillars. What are the 8 pillars?
Let's go.
Here are the 8 pillars.
Do you want me to read them?
Oh yeah, he has the mic. I don't know if his voice is.
I have no idea.
Let's see.
Number 1 is oxygen.
No way. Are you serious?
It's literally oxygen.
Dude.
Number 1 is 8 essential pillars are the foundation for a long, healthy, and joyful life. Dude, why? Just tell all
Food.
You want to see if you can get them?
Oxygen, water, food,
water,
shelter.
nutrition.
Food, isn't that food?
Yeah, that's food. That's food.
Shelter.
No.
Social connection. That has to be there.
Community.
Community. What else is sunlight?
No.
Dude, I would go crazy.
Well, the one I was talking about was the
hard.
Japanese one that they like really emphasize on.
Oh, the blue zone?
So the Japanese blue zone, they have a lot of people.
Okinawa? No, that's Hawaii.
Well, that's in Japan. Yeah.
Okinawa?
Like points to that.
I think that's a blue zone. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the Okinawan blue zone.
Yeah.
Why do you think they chose the color blue?
That's a good question, actually.
We're getting so
that's
distracted.
actually a good question.
That's all right.
Maybe it's not that great of a question, but we're just dumb.
We're just dumb.
Yeah, that could also be.
No, the point is like a lot of people of that age, they're like 100 plus, and they can do like deep squats. Versus over here, we're reaching 80 and we need walkers to like get places.
the floor at like
no, literally
89. I'm like, I couldn't do that at like 12.
No,
like,
so movement is huge. Movement's number 4. Yeah, movement's huge.
Yeah, of course.
Happiness.
Okay.
Got to be happy.
Did I say mental health? I don't remember.
You said
if I said that.
community related, like friends or whatever.
But I feel like happiness and mental health, 2 incredibly fuzzy concepts.
Yeah.
Yes, happiness and mental health are 2 incredibly fuzzy concepts.
It started off with literally O2, and then it became fuzzy.
Well, actually, I'll give you sunlight because nature is one of them. So sunlight is part of that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. The other one is more like self-actualization.
Oh, it's
oriented.
Okay. Well, is that not what it is? Self-actualization?
No.
Meditation?
Like purpose.
Oh, okay. I agree with that one.
Like figuring out.
I agree with that one.
And that, well, yeah.
I like that one.
Agree with that. I like that one.
Purpose is dope.
That'd be a cool rule to have. Everyone has to.
Make that a shirt. Purpose is dope.
What's on the shirt?
Purpose is dope.
Purpose is dope.
Yeah, I could see you wearing that. It fits your personality.
I could rock that. Purpose is dope.
Just make a shirt, walk around, chip, and see how many people.
Imagine how much that could change, though. Like, if everyone was forced at some point to figure out what their purpose is.
Yeah.
At some point in their life. Like, before 20, you can't do anything else before you figure out your purpose.
Jeez.
I mean, that's a little bit rough, but like,
they'll hold you at
fine.
the age of 20.
Fine.
They won't let you go to 21.
No Child Left Behind is a joke.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me give you your phone back. Thanks. Woo, good catch. But yeah, you just set your. That would be my rule. You have to figure out your purpose before age like 30.
Like starting at 15.
Yeah, and until then, just live your life.
The thing is this, it's like, I was talking to a friend about this earlier today. We have like no exposure to a ton of...
To fields.
Yeah, right? Like truthfully, I don't know what a day in the life of a PM&R doc is. And even within PM&R, I know it's like very broad. Like some people do procedures, some people are seeing a ton of patients in clinic. Like, I don't really know what PM&R... I mean, I know what they do. I don't know what it looks like. I honestly don't know what like a pathologist's life looks like either. So it's interesting. It's like you're trying to find a purpose with this much exposure. So you have to like
the onus is on you to kind of find that out, right?
Right.
But
it's hard.
Imagine a system where like, I don't know, the government, some overarching body is like, hey,
it forced you to
just not even like figure out your shit. You can live for free up until this age.
Yeah.
And figure out your shit, and then once you figure it out, then go do that thing you love for the rest of your life. And if you want to change, you can change.
We'll
give you training for it,
test?
and then you provide GDP for us.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think a lot of people end up doing stuff they don't really want to do. They're not that interested in, but it like pays the bills and everything like that.
Right.
But if you could find a way for them to find like fulfillment from that, plus pay the bills, plus like I don't know, create whatever. Yeah, like my mom recently has really gotten into painting. She was like an artist when she was younger, but then she stopped it, and now she's like gone back into it again, and she's like obsessed. Like I wake up and she's painting. I'm going to bed, she's still painting. Like, so yeah, I feel like people just find it spontaneously
over time,
and then they stick with it. Yeah. They just know inherently.
Yeah. I mean, I think for my mom, like similar. Like she was always into like the arts and crafts, like growing up.
Yeah.
And then ended up doing like a different career in like commerce. But then is getting back into it now, and it's kind of like her thing. Yeah. And it's, you think like if we had this sort of like rule, this sort of program, maybe we wouldn't need psychiatrists anymore.
Oh, no.
We wouldn't have mental health
you're
problems.
right. You've just cured schizophrenia.
Okay, maybe not psychiatrists. Maybe like mental health counseling.
So that sounds like counseling.
Like counseling.
I mean, that's
counseling.
Like, that's psychiatry. A large part of psychiatry.
I mean, it is a large part of psychiatry, but also psychiatrists also see like
I
people
do think,
who have sometimes more genetic things as well.
Yeah, I think it is interesting. Like, can like a lack of purpose compound depression, for example, right?
For sure,
like this feeling of what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Kind of right. I think there's probably, definitely merit to that.
Yeah.
Definitely with nihilism.
Yeah, exactly.
Nihilism, yeah.
Go hand in hand.
Yeah. It's odd because it's a feeling, right? Purpose is a feeling. So it's like if you can't access that feeling for some reason, it's tough to be like, well, find it. But yeah, I mean, it would be interesting.
That's what I'm saying. Government mandated purpose-finding sessions that you have in school, and you don't even go to school to like cram. Yeah. You go to school to like just play.
Yeah, to figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because I think long ago, like people's purpose were the people around them, right? And that was it. But nowadays, it's not that. Okay. Right? It's people around them to a degree, and then like you have to try finding a broader purpose to help strangers, right? Okay. Which is kind of something that goes against, I think, a lot of our basic intuition of like helping people close to us and helping ourselves.
Yeah. All right, we've had a super long discussion going. Actually, we jumped from the golden zone. We jumped from your thing to my thing.
We were talking about like preventative.
We were talking about preventative, and then we like completely jumped ship.
Yeah, because you said golden zone.
Because I said gold.
I want to hear a specific rule on the preventative.
I do want to hear a specific rule.
I think paying primary.
So
that's my rule.
What's your rule? What's your rule is?
I think we need to pay primary care more, not just
primary care more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that will help gain a lot of interest in the field. I think it would be interesting to see what the research says is the most effective way to increase people taking medications when they should.
Okay. But that also means, just going back a little bit to your rule itself. Yeah. That means you have to balance it out some way, or you have to change the entire model. So does that mean you take money away from the surgeons?
No, that's what my friends and I have played around with ideas. Like, it would be very interesting to see what the distribution of specialists would be if you paid everyone $500,000, right? So everyone gets paid $500,000, and just see what happens in the med school. Like, who goes where? Right. Yeah. I think that would be an interesting social experiment. I don't think there's any practicality to it.
But then, wouldn't you argue there would be like that's kind of an NHS model almost, where consultants are paid the same as general practitioners. Like their version of family medicine is paid almost the same. Yeah. Like slightly below, but almost the same as their surgeons.
Right. Is that after like malpractice insurance and everything? Or maybe they don't. Maybe they have a different system where the government takes care of.
Well, it is NHS, so I assume like government paid. Yeah. So I assume it's government like takes care of that sort of stuff.
They could.
I could be wrong.
Is it also paid by hour the same, or is it paid flat the same?
I don't know. I think it's salaried.
Okay.
So it's like our yearly, that sort of thing.
Yeah, because they do like, because now you've just shifted it, right?
Right. I do know that like the compensation for surgeons in the U.S. versus compensation for surgeons in the U.K.
Oh yeah, it's
definitely
way
lower in
different,
the UK than it is in the US. Like people come here from the UK to make money.
Right, exactly. It's a very procedure driven.
Yeah. But that kind of ties back to what Dr. Kim was saying in the previous podcast episode, shameless self-promo. He was saying that we're moving towards a lot of like specialty care and procedural care and like transactional based medicine. We're missing a lot of the preventative stuff that you're talking. So maybe your rule could change the dynamic a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like we have like so many. I don't know if it can, truthfully. Like even if you pay primary
it's a
care doctors
fictional world, bro. We're parallel universe Doctor Strange.
I think having a lot of I think having like a lot of persistence for wanting people to take preventative steps, and like seeing if they want to take them too, and giving them everything possible to take those steps is what it'll actually probably end up taking.
Yeah.
You know.
I bet you the insurance companies would argue though that that's not value-based care. Because that's a
I mean, it probably will save them a lot of money.
Well, no, I think in essence it is value-based care, but in terms of them, like, it is, like, for them it's expensive to pay for everything frontline immediately right away.
I don't know. I think, like, stroke care is way more expensive probably than just paying for a statin, right? Like, or an ACE inhibitor, or both.
What's your first kind of line for stroke care? Because
it depends. I think, like,
it does, but
isn't it like so it's hypertension, increased cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, diabetes, and smoking. Those are like the four main things.
But there must be like some sort of like case where a doctor requests something from an insurance company for approval, like a prior auth.
Yeah.
It gets denied again, and by that point something's too late, and then you have a further complication down the line.
Yeah, I'm curious, like statins and ACE inhibitors, I don't know what like the off-the-shelf prices for those, but I think those are reasonably cheap at least. But it's true, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that even if they're considered cheap, a lot of people probably still can't afford them. Yeah. Which makes it, you've automatically removed it from being accessible to 100% of people to whatever that percentage is.
Gotcha.
That can't afford it. But yeah, I think those are the four main preventable or like disease modifying factors. And I think we have a lot of medical treatment that can control for those. Smoking is the hardest maybe because addiction is, there's some psychedelic stuff that's on the horizon that could help out with that. But that one's probably the hardest, I feel, to move.
Yeah. I've heard about those studies, like the LSD ones.
Yeah.
Where they get, and not even just for like smoking, it's like if you're in a certain way of thinking or like a certain frame of mind, I could be wrong, using it for like schizophrenia patients.
No, it's definitely not. It's actually a contraindication for most studies. Yeah.
Okay.
So you screen out first, and even sometimes second-degree relatives who have schizophrenia or bipolar for these studies.
Okay. It was for some psychiatric study though. That
depression and anxiety.
Was it for depression and anxiety?
Yeah. And I think the results have definitely been positive. It hasn't been like a neutral or negative study, which is always nice. It's a question of like maybe how positive it is, probably. And it's also tough because there's so many different types of psychedelics that anything that causes like a spooky experience is like all of a sudden called a psychedelic, right? So you have psilocybin, LSD, and then you have like ketamine being put in there too, which is like completely different mechanism of action. So.
But you're saying that sort of therapy can then potentially be used for something like a smoking addiction, where
I think one of the earlier studies on psilocybin showed some ridiculous remission rate, like definitely above 50%. I think the number was 80%.
Oh shit!
I don't know how sustained it was or anything like that, but it was like, I think people often use like Wellbutrin, which I think is effective. Maybe it's less than 50% of the time, maybe a third of the time, that it can sustain someone from smoking.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Just one trip is all of a sudden causing these people to no longer be addicted. Yeah. Like, what happens to like the withdrawal symptoms? Like, do those go away, or are they just tolerated? Yeah. It's interesting.
Well, in the psych study that I was mentioning, not about schizophrenia, about depression and anxiety, they were talking about how it like completely, it's like a switch that gets flicked in your brain, and then instead of going one way, it just permanently goes a different way, and you're not switching back.
Maybe, I'm curious what the how long do people stay in remission if they get into remission from?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right. So I think it's interesting because I remember there's this famous surgeon, Sherwin Newland, and he passed away, I think, from prostate cancer at a really late age, but he had psychotic depression and he needed electroconvulsive therapy for it, and he came out of it. But he relapsed decades later, and he said the same thing where it was like a switch went off.
Right.
And he switched back into the depression.
He switched back into it?
Yeah, he basically, I think he said in one of his interviews that it was basically like a switch.
Okay.
And so it's interesting you use that language because I think that's what patients often say too. But yeah, I'm curious how long remission lasts for patients who take psychedelics and get some benefit. And also it's like if you take a psychedelic, you don't have to be on a medication with its side effects for a longer time, so maybe that will be more appealing to people too.
Do you think it's going to get to a point where you like kind of tracking back where you end up using those psychedelics for something more preventative care? Like your family med doctor comes out and is like, oh, you're struggling with depression?
Top off.
Here, take this LSD.
Yeah. I think, I would be curious if, like, I don't think they're going to be administering it at like your local, people are just tripping in the local family clinic.
This is
Shoreview Clinic. You go there.
Dude, this is how we figured it out. This is how you get people to start getting primary care doctors.
I think they trip in rooms that are more like this than they do over there.
This is adding on to his.
This was actually my second rule. Remember I said I had two.
We should vote on your first rule first. And then we'll get to your second.
Let's see. If you vote against it, you're going to be like,
so your first rule was increasing the pay for primary care. Okay, I vote for it, but I'm still skeptical on like feasibility.
I'm also skeptical of how effective it will be in like improving preventative outcomes.
It's your rule. You're supposed to like believe in this thing.
No, but I'm skeptical, man. Okay. I believe in it. I think it should be done anyway.
Okay. That's like a trial period.
Yeah, exactly.
If we could just start everything over and just trial period for 4 years and see what happens.
Yeah, and let's do it. Let's block out a section of the U.S. and then just do it.
Students age this to this.
You have the power.
I have the power?
You have the power. You've already renamed blue zones golden zones.
Yeah, we can just
dude, you have
skip over the U.S. government. Yeah. Nothing shady going on there. No, not at all.
But my second rule is that like I think there are a lot of laws against like Schedule I substances that have. So for definitional sake, like Schedule I means you can't even research it without like an insane amount of crap. Yeah. Like you have to get a DEA license and everything. And that's just not going to happen for a lot of people, a lot of researchers. We need to like get these sort of compounds out of that category. And the reason is because I think like a lot of people are suffering from things like addiction, like obviously opioid addiction is like a huge issue. But obviously we were talking about depression and anxiety too. And so getting those compounds out so we can at least research them freely, I think that would be, and if they don't have any merit, then they don't have any merit, but we should see.
Okay, so two things for that. First, are you voting for his first rule? All right. So
look, it passed in your nation.
Dang, all right.
Yeah.
Well, good shit, dude. Yeah. Congrats. The first pass. This is supposed to be like harder to get things to pass.
No, this one's a little bit more.
But this one is more controversial.
Yeah, this one's like a harder one.
So just to clarify, your rule is to get more Schedule I drugs off the Schedule I list so that it can be researched.
I'll say it's precisely. I think the psychedelics should come off the Schedule I list so we can research them for conditions. I think that if you just look at them on a disability they cause.
Does that mean they're more available to the general population though?
Not yet.
So like Schedule 1.5?
So it would be purely for research purposes until we can get like the FDA to approve them for
so there is a schedule for that, right? I thought Schedule 2 or 3 was something around
those are all, so scheduling is a DEA thing, I believe.
Yeah.
And like cocaine is a Schedule 2 drug because it can technically be used as an anesthetic for ENT procedures, which is really ironic, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that magic mushrooms are in Schedule 1 and cocaine's in Schedule 2 just makes no sense from like a research perspective.
Yeah.
And these diseases cause so much disability. I think we need to fast track possible solutions, you know.
Okay.
Some neurosurgeon in West Virginia got a lot of steam for like deep brain stimulation for addiction, and it seems to be working like reasonably well.
Why do you get steam?
No. It's like getting steam
like
for
he's
it.
getting,
Okay. Gaining steam for it.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a 60-minute section. I think his name is Dr. Ali Rezai.
But that doesn't involve like deep brain stimulation with Schedule 1.
No. Just deep brain
stimulating.
But this is the thing. It's like, would people rather have a brain surgery for it, or would they, trip out for it, right? So, hey, I mean, it's like a graded thing, right? We need all the solutions we can. So, like, there will always be patients who are super, super resistant,
right?
And we need options for them. But like, maybe.
And then, are you talking about like more Schedule 1 drugs, or like just the psychedelics, just the
I think marijuana is still in Schedule 1 stuff.
I think it is.
But I don't know. Like some of my research is in like psychedelic stuff for different conditions.
Sure.
And so I'm interested from that angle in getting them out so that we can research them freely.
So you just have run across a lot of barriers in this stuff, and you're pissed off. You're annoyed.
Yeah. Well, I think
that's basically what it comes down
it's
to.
tough. You have to do a lot of this stuff internationally, and so where the laws permit it, and automatically in the U.S. you get a little bit of like
hesitancy.
Yeah, right. Because I can understand it to some degree. But yeah, there's no reason the U.S. shouldn't be able to lead these.
I mean, there has to be some history behind the drugs being Schedule 1.
I think it's just fear, right? It was the culture war.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of it is the culture war.
Okay.
And so they got put onto the Schedule 1 list. I mean, not being able to research them is crazy.
Right.
You're purposefully being ignorant about these possible solutions.
Yeah, I think researching makes sense. That definitely makes more sense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't I think open them up to just recreational use right away, because obviously you need to do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's this whole discussion too about should everything be legalized and all that, which I have no understanding of.
I have
So I'm not even touching that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying from a research perspective, it's ridiculous that there's so many barriers. Because I mean, if you think about chemotherapy has the side effects of it can be just atrocious. I mean, people can die from the side effects of it sometimes. So
well, no, you keep hearing those ads on the TV. Side effects include blah 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 and death.
Yeah, right. And it's those you're still allowed to research them, right? As you should. Research is how you learn stuff.
So to your point, it is crazy how you can have all these pharmaceutical drugs being made. They're not classified as Schedule 1, but then you have these psychedelics that are Schedule 1, but they do have side effects, but maybe they're not as extensive. We also don't know, right?
Yeah, the lethal dose of many of these are unknown because it's so ridiculously high.
Yeah.
Right. So from a physiological standpoint, it's not like it causes ridiculous hemodynamic instability or anything.
And by lethal dose, you're saying how much it takes to get to
the LD50.
Right.
So if you have a population of people, what's the dose that kills half of them?
Exactly.
That's the LD50. And so I don't think we know what it is for many of these compounds because it's so high.
But we do know what it is for certain pharma drugs.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's so many drugs that are prescribed that have a very narrow therapeutic index.
What's the therapeutic index just for?
Yeah, so it's basically the range, usually a blood range or a dosing range where the medication is effective. So lithium is a classic example where there's a certain dosing where above it it's not as effective and below it it's not as effective. So, we don't really, and lithium has an LD50 of course too, but I mean, a lot of these psychedelics don't really have a known LD50 because it's just so high.
Gotcha.
Yeah, everything has an LD50.
Everything has an LD50.
Yeah.
The dose is the poison is in the dose.
Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah.
I don't remember the saying.
Everything is poison.
Everything is poison.
Yeah,
don't drink
at the right
or eat
dose.
anything.
Yeah, everything is poison at the right dose.
The dose is the poison. There we go.
Well, water's poison. Yeah.
Water is poison. Air is poison. Too much oxygen.
Yeah, well, the Golden Zones website that you looked up, that website says oxygen's great. So I mean,
too much oxygen.
Dude, so you can't have too much oxygen.
No, I think
don't have too much
oxygen. I think that's.
Or sorry, you can have too much.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Yeah. I think you can be absolutely cooked if you have too much oxygen, but.
There's some hyperoxia sickness that you can get.
Yeah, Wasn't on step 1 or 2, so.
Don't care. Do not care.
It'll happen.
Hypoxia, probably.
Hypoxia.
Oh, that's on step 1, 2, 3, 5, 1 billion. It's on all of them. Yeah, dude. But okay, vote on this.
I like it. I mean, I'm also kind of biased. I feel like we need to get more people on here with diverse viewpoints, because like I'm thinking as a researcher and as a scientist as well.
Exactly.
And I'm like, yeah, this like, but these chemicals that have also brought harm to certain communities, there is that perspective on it as well. But your whole point is like you wouldn't open it up to recreational use. It's for research purposes. Yeah,
but you could see it like also, I think it's peyote. It has like a lot of like a meaning to, I believe it's
different
Native American. Yeah. And so like indigenous population. So I could see if you like open this up for research, this could become an issue too, where it's like the supply and demand isn't there, and so. But
there's room there for companies to come in and commercialize the product then too, which is insensitive to the actual cultures that use it. Yeah,
there's that discussion for sure. Yeah.
I'm a maybe.
You're a maybe.
I'm a maybe.
Wow. What are you? I didn't convince him.
If you didn't say anything what you just said, I would have been yes. But you're bringing up good issues.
How about I don't actually know where peyote is and the scheduling, or if it's even included in like explicitly the laws.
I know psilocybin is.
Yeah.
So if there's communities that use that,
marijuana's in. So why can't mushrooms be in?
Exactly.
Given our situation of the current state of affairs with anxiety and depression, I feel like we gotta throw the. Just keep throwing paint at the wall.
So are you a maybe or are you a yes?
I'm a yes.
He's a yes.
Yeah, that's what's up.
All right. Yeah. One yes.
Look, and I'm the tiebreaker. So
if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's true.
Yeah, that's true, right? It's only for research purposes. So like, and the research has been interesting. I think that MDMA has been like the one like leading all of this for PTSD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think the FDA basically had some issues with how one of the trials was going.
Gotcha.
Okay. I don't know too much about that though. But
I mean, I did listen to this podcast. I forget which scientist they were talking to, but it was on Radiolab, and it was about MDMA. And other hallucinogens to use for stroke, post-stroke, and I think.
Yeah, dude. Like.
Check out the name.
It's interesting because it's like across. So what's really interesting is like if you have. So for studies, you have a primary outcome, right?
Right.
And that primary outcome is what the placebo typically works on. So you have one arm that gets treatment, one arm that gets placebo, and the treatment arm they'll have whatever, right? And the placebo arm, they expect if it's a depression study, expect their depression to get better.
Right.
But if the active treatment says, oh, all of a sudden I'm not drinking coffee anymore, I don't feel like I need caffeine, or I'm not drinking alcohol anymore, that's interesting then, because the placebo doesn't work. The placebo shouldn't work on that, right? Because there's no expectancy that you're going to get better from an addiction standpoint. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting that these drugs are having all these off-target effects where it's improving like psychiatric outcomes, but it's also improving, other stuff.
The ecstasy of an open brain. Neuroscientist Gil Dolan research shows that psychedelics like MDMA, LSD, psilocybin, ketamine can reopen critical periods. That was the term.
Oh, yeah.
Critical periods.
Did you guys talk about that in neuro at all?
No, we haven't really. I think there's like the research is like starting to come out now. I think it's like a little bit unfortunate that there is this whole trip associated with it. I think a lot of people like say that there's like a therapeutic value to that.
Yeah, but then back to like it's in the dose, right? You trip if you get to a certain point.
But it seems like the dose needed is necessary.
Is that high?
Yeah, like there's this whole like microdosing thing too, which I don't know.
They also like the studies that look at specifically psychedelics for the depression and anxiety. The way they talk about it is like you have very controlled spaces that you like are administered the substance in.
Yeah.
There's always someone there watching you.
Exactly.
You're not going home with it. They're giving you the correct dose at the correct time.
Exactly.
So it's like
and it's
very
pure, right? It's not like fentanyl laced. Right?
Yeah, it's not like from a dealer.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
So it's very monitored and controlled to make sure that like it is being done with legal proceeding and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like necessary. I think like this whole idea of like you can just like go do it at home by yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like so that makes me uneasy.
In that sense, I'm a yes.
Yeah.
But that whole cultural component of it
there's that.
is definitely.
I feel like that's like inevitable. Like also ayahuasca is another one that might have run issues with that.
Although like that's like that is not just the active ingredient, right? Like the active ingredient is in that, and that would be the Schedule 1 component, not the actual.
Yeah, is it 5-MeO-DMT or something like that? Yeah, there's a lot of research on that.
Guess is way better than mine.
I think it might be that. But yeah, I do think I think that they just have a lot of therapeutic value. I don't like the whole like the baggage that comes along with these compounds. I think that part is pretty damaging from just like a scientific point of view. I know like it just makes it hard, I feel like, to get approval for stuff because you get into like this whole like what is the spooky business stuff, which is fair. But if it's working, like we kind of have to push it forward, you know, especially for things we don't have a lot of treatments for, or effective treatments for. Like traumatic brain injury, there's 0 FDA-approved drugs for TBI, 0. And we're like seeing some like insane benefits with like certain psychedelics with like traumatic brain injury. And so it's like I feel like we gotta make that happen, you know.
Go straight to the NFL. Just throw some.
So it's interesting. They looked at this in Navy SEALs, and like the traumatic brain injury improvement was like ridiculous, and sustained. So yeah, it's just going to take years to get it to the general population. And obviously it has to be like a carefully selected patient population and stuff.
Well, if you do that, you'll get to a point where like, for example, the WHO has a list of medications that they think every country should have. Essential medications. Yeah. You could get to a point where they have like freaking psychedelics on the list of essential medications.
I think the essential medications have to be...
They just added GLP-1. They just added Ozempic to that, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That would be an interesting discussion, by the way.
Yeah.
I think like people are always like...
That starts bringing into the question of like how much is too much symptomatic care versus how much should we focus on preventative. I mean, that was your last thing.
I mean,
that was your last point.
People like often say like what is... So like in my head, like they're like you're going to have to medicate everyone then.
Yeah.
And it's a question. It's like if people are willing to do it.
Crippling.
Yeah.
Like,
right. It can be. Yeah. And so it's like maybe you should give people the choice because like clearly the preventative strategy that we were talking about earlier isn't working. Right. Like it's just not.
Yeah.
So maybe these are like the key to like really improve outcomes. And it's like interesting. I think there was a paper in like Journal of Neurosurgery recently showing that it like helps with stroke outcomes.
GLP-1.
Yeah.
Like Ozempic.
Yeah. So I
helps with hair loss.
No way.
Kidding.
I was gonna say.
Dermatology's gonna take.
Yeah.
Solves
I was
depression.
Gonna say, yeah.
Solves anxiety.
Like I don't know how it does all these like random things, right?
Well, so GLP-1
like every disease
is made
helps.
in your body. Like it's not just some random ass chemical that we pulled out of thin air. It's not a pharma company like chemical. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is made by a company, but it's not like it's something that's naturally produced in your body.
Yeah.
And we're just enhancing the use of it.
Yeah.
Like melatonin. But
that's
not
true. Well,
melatonin.
I don't think melatonin's like
melatonin's
recommended by like.
Yeah. You shouldn't overdose on melatonin. That causes problems.
I don't even remember what they say for sleep anymore. Like if you're allowed to.
I've heard they say not to use melatonin.
Yeah, that's what I also vaguely remember hearing about. But yeah, I mean, this thing is like the most OP medication. Like it's like solving everything.
Everyone should take GLP-1.
Yeah, it almost sounds like that.
None of us have our MDs yet. You should not probably listen to us.
That's
Follow
true.
your doctor's advice.
Yeah.
We're just yapping
disclaimer.
Right now. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, but this is true.
I feel like a disclaimer is necessary because you never know what people.
Yeah, we don't know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
But this is for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Psychedelics.
Yeah, psychedelics. Yeah. So
You have to vote.
Did we not?
So you were against,
I was a maybe.
And you were for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For NFL players.
For NFL players exclusively. Yeah. Like we're starting a few trials on it and stuff like that. So it's going to be exciting. But I think there's going to be a lag period before we start getting this, like, if it's a positive trial, before it becomes like implemented. Plus you need this whole new infrastructure for it. Like how do you like pay people for like providing the dose and then also doing the therapy. Mm-hmm. So it's like this whole mess, you know. which is unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
But yeah, hopefully we can figure out the truth on these things if they actually work, and how much, and who shouldn't take it.
Cool.
In the spirit of the golden zones and thinking about
the golden
habits in life that are healthy.
Are you recording, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's spend like 10 minutes
How
on
does
it.
mandatory nap time sound?
Okay,
I
so
used to be a huge napper.
Your rule is mandatory nap time.
Yeah.
Like
every day?
military enforced.
Daily nap time, 1 hour minimum.
How do you
Okay, 1 hour
that?
minimum, daily nap time, 2 hour maximum.
So like there's a break for lunch.
So you break
just
for
like
lunch.
in Spain, and then you go home and you nap. And
But
then you go back to work in the afternoon, excuse me.
Okay, so you basically go home, you take a nap, and you come back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is like
Wait, what happens to your
industry.
lunch break?
No, you just go home
part of
for
your
lunch.
lunch break?
Sleep after lunch, like you sleep off the food.
So there would be 4 rush hours, dude. Think about it: going to work, going to lunch, going to work, going home. Like that's.
Oh, I haven't thought this one through.
Yeah, dude, that would.
What they do in Spain?
That would be. I mean,
Well,
great
also
for
in
Uber
Spain,
and Lyft.
they don't have like freeways like that, like we use here. They have freeways, but it's not like crazy extensive like we use here.
I don't know what the public transportation in Spain is.
It's all local.
I'm sure there's someone who has a PhD in that you could.
Public transport
in Spain.
Just call them
in Spain.
Be like, hey, how does
maybe here at Minnesota.
Yeah, maybe, but specifically for Spain.
Maybe it's Ethan.
Ethan is the PhD public transport.
On that note, just boost public transit.
No, that's too easy of a rule, though.
No, we're sticking with your first rule.
But full disclosure, I have been to Spain, but I haven't observed the culture of work, sleep. I haven't seen people go home, so I don't know if it actually happens.
Yeah.
I know it's like a thing people talk about.
Or at least historically was maybe a thing,
like
yeah.
I don't know if it's actually like a living.
Do you nap?
No.
I don't nap either.
I don't nap. I can't
used to nap a lot.
Well, actually, I was studying today a little bit,
No,
and
I
I was
can't.
dozing off during videos. So,
Oh, really? That's napping.
That's napping.
Were you
yes.
sleep deprived, though?
A little
I
bit.
think we're getting to that point.
We're getting to that point for sure.
Yeah. I don't remember the last... When I try to nap, I start to fall asleep, and then I, wake up. So I can't
But it's not like compulsory napping. It's compulsory, time of rest. Is that
During
what, would you amend to that?
I'm curious
'Cause it's lunch.
Neurology or psychiatry or whatever has to say about sleeping after a meal in the middle of the day and how it affects your productivity or whatever at work.
I mean, Western
Cool.
society is a very carb-based diet, right? And the more carbs you intake at one time, you get
You
sleepy.
should see the Indian diet, then. That thing is
I don't even want to go there.
carbs.
I don't even...
1 milligram of protein, and your body is
and fiber.
doing
Carbs and
everything it
fiber.
can with that 1 milligram to survive.
I mean, hey, that's why maybe Indian people don't have. Well, I'm just yapping. I don't know the evidence. Maybe they don't.
Yeah, let's hear
that. Maybe
this.
that's why Indian people don't have large amounts like colorectal cancer.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
just
I don't
so
know.
many vegetables, so much fiber.
But is
and
that
so
even a
much
true claim?
Dude, they fucking.
I don't know. I
yogurt.
don't know what the colorectal cancer rates
I don't know
are.
what but I know it's really high in Korea, Japan, Korea, and
The U.S. of A.
I mean, in younger generations in US of A,
Yeah.
But processed foods, there's a lot of things to blame for that.
But I wonder
Lack of
how much
sleep.
more smoking affects something like that than
Maybe.
the effect size of smoking versus right, because I think
There's
the
probably
places you mentioned have higher smoking rates. Maybe not.
This conversation is very much the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, dude, we're totally assuming things. Yeah.
Don't take anything seriously, basically.
Yeah.
But
we're yapping.
We're literally just yapping. But I going back to it. I do like the idea of that period of rest, that period of nap in between workday.
Well, dude, I'd be walking around I don't know what I'm doing here.
Well, no, that's okay. That's rest.
Everyone's
you're taking
asleep
time
and
for
then
yourself.
you're
right?
yeah, that's fair. I feel though when you're in the zone, it's nice to be in the zone. I don't want it to be interrupted and then restart getting in the zone.
Everyone's zone is different. If you're in the middle of a neurosurgery.
But he said mandatory. So,
I agree. But at any point of time.
Dude, yeah, can you imagine in surgery you're just all right, bring 3 beds into the OR actually. I'm going to take 1, the resident's going to take 1, the patient's obviously going to be 1. And then just get through this 1 hour of mandatory.
You have just so
government enforced nap time.
Here's my question, at what age does nap time end? Why in kindergarten is it normal, and then in
did you have nap time in kindergarten?
Yes, preschool, and kindergarten.
Of
Well, maybe not kindergarten, preschool though.
Dude, I remember
just
one
not
time.
appropriate anymore, and why?
Dude, in preschool, I remember we had nap time, and I remember distinctly just sitting there, like lying there for 20 minutes awake, like.
Yeah, but it's...
And then, like, faking being asleep when the teacher walked by. But I was like, this is torture. Dude,
you were arrested, bro.
No, dude, a preschool kid, like, trying to sleep for 20 minutes is, like, torture for them. Like, this preschool kid wanted to go outside. And no, he was stuck inside. Mandatory nap time.
So you're... Okay, I think it's...
I'm a no.
I think that's an interesting idea. Like, swap it.
Yeah.
Take it away from preschoolers and give it to adults. Have the preschoolers spend the whole 20 minutes like fully engaged.
Take it from people who have no impact on the GDP.
Exactly. Give it to the people.
I'm counting them in.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so my cousin goes to a school that...
Louder.
My cousin goes to a school that they have this... She's like, I don't know, 8 years old. They have this period in the school day, which is called WIN block, and it stands for What I Need. And it's 1 hour where everyone gets what they need. So it might be like some of them have to do like physical therapy or occupational therapy or some sort of emotional therapy. Some people might actually just like play or do arts and crafts. Can we do something like that for all?
Dude, I'd like to do arts and crafts for an hour a day.
Dude, I think Ethan just solved depression and anxiety.
Yeah, dude, he like figured it
I
out.
think we don't need any psychedelics. We don't need any cultural change.
Forget about my rule about moving stuff from the Schedule 1 substances.
No educational
Just
change.
make art time. Yeah.
Ethan has fully solved the educational or the depression and anxiety problem in the US.
I mean,
I would take credit
it's
for
an interesting
that,
idea.
You just need naps.
It is an interesting, yeah. I saw like this like
I do like that
Instagram
idea, though.
post where they were like, your brain is, people who nap have bigger brains or something like that. And I
I
was
don't know
like,
if bigger is necessarily the reflection of
This is big
how
brain time.
productive.
yeah, big brain time. This guy takes naps all the time.
Dude, I do not take naps at all.
It's hard. This kind of similar, but like the whole work from home versus in person thing. I think that's also interesting. Like in my head, I'm in 1 foot in each camp.
No, but that's like unlimited nap time because you could realistically just like front load all your work and then just like
dude, and it's also
do naps
so
for the rest of the
depressing.
workday.
Like when you work from home, like the people I know, like my friends who are like in CS and stuff, and they're working from home. They're like, dude, they go days without seeing people. And I was like, I don't think that sounds awful.
I could never do that.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
do that. Yeah.
Some of them like it because of like the flexibility, I think. But it would be nice to have like I think going to work is like, it's like that purpose thing in your your
golden zones, baby.
Dude.
Golden
but like,
zones.
yeah, it's like purpose, right? Like you're in community and all that. You like go to work, you see people. I think there might be some merit to that,
And going to work.
Yeah. Dude, imagine if
contributing to the.
It's like this isn't even a conversation 10 years ago. You don't have the option to be at home.
Yeah, right.
Now suddenly going to work is like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, right. But like, dude, think about the day you can do like surgery from home. Like, there's a robotic thing
it's already
you just
being
plug
done.
in and from home?
Not from home, but from like the opposite side of the world.
Yeah, that's there. But like, think about
like if
from
you could
home.
do that, all you need is a Wi-Fi connection and a computer and like a video game controller.
No, you would
and
need
you're
the
set.
whole like.
A video game controller.
Yeah. Nah.
You could do it with a video game.
I don't think so. Poking around someone's skull base, like with a video game controller.
Could you actually imagine
that would
the same
be,
video game controller that controlled the Titanic submersible?
Oh my god,
controls your
dude.
surgery?
Dude, yeah, exactly, right? Like, I mean, like the Da Vinci robot's there, like with like 18 attachments.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah.
You're like, nah.
Let's actually get a controller. Yeah. Let's get a GameCube controller.
Give my Nintendo Switch to
dust it off. Yeah, dude. Hey, pitch it, dude. Go on Shark Tank and see what they think.
Too many people are doing surgeries without the proper PS4 controller.
Yeah, exactly. What we need is the GameCube controller or a single joystick. Yeah, I'm curious if like the planes and stuff. I feel like that might be the first stuff to eventually.
Oh, like airplanes?
Yeah.
Like, instead of
like
pilots, you have air traffic controllers just controlling it with the joystick?
I'm curious. You need to bring a pilot on here, man.
I need to bring everyone on here, man.
You need to bring a pilot.
This is
like,
episode 2. We have so many people.
I have a pilot family friend.
Dude.
No, but it's like how... Dude.
Yes.
Cousin?
Name drop.
AI and radiology. That would have been a good thing for you to discuss.
No, we can name drop. I just was like not expecting it.
AI and radiology.
I also don't know if he wants to be name dropped.
I got this part out.
Yeah, okay.
I actually think you should bring a radiologist in here and talk about AI.
I actually do want to. I think like I'm of the opinion that like AI is going to take over a lot of jobs. Probably psych and AI inclusive. Potentially. Dude, you know how many people are
I thought you were
getting
gonna say, like,
AI
scribes.
girlfriends, AI boyfriends?
Yeah, I did. Wait.
No. Like, do you know how many people like turn to AI for like therapy and like counseling? It's a thing.
That's true. Like I have caught myself like talking to ChatGPT like a person, and I'm like, this is totally not.
Well,
it.
you should treat them like a person in case of the uprising.
Yeah, that's true. I always say please, thank you.
Yeah. I think that's like
but apparently
very good to
costs
do.
them millions when you do that. I heard something about that.
And a lot of water.
Yeah, and a lot of water.
Don't use manners
Yeah.
when talking to, or do use manners.
Do use manners.
I'd be curious.
Because when iRobot becomes a thing, then
Yeah, like your Roomba becomes sentient.
yeah,
And
grows
like,
legs.
Yeah, like
starts coming after you.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be a crazy day.
Yeah.
Like the day Roomba becomes sentient. Damn.
We went crazy left turn with this
Yeah,
conversation.
maybe we're on psychedelics.
But I'd like to vote on his. I do like the nap.
I'm gonna
idea.
be a no. I'm sorry.
Dude, why?
What about hour of?
No, you did
That I'm a
one.
yes
you,
for.
you had your one amendment.
Yeah.
But dude, is it mandatory?
Yes, mandatory.
But dude, how is that going to work with an OR schedule? They're running multiple rooms at once, and you're like, whatever you need to do it. I was like, I need to be in there.
You just have to be overstaffed.
Yeah, you have to be overstaffed.
Anyone has to be able to step in. at any
Dude,
point.
nah, that's a no.
This isn't just for doctors. This is for.
No, I know, but it has to
guess-
work. Dude, a pilot, man. Like a pilot's doing this 1
Okay,
hour.
don't pretend like autopilot doesn't exist.
No, dude, but what if like during that 1 hour? I'm just saying there are
Exceptions
examples.
for those certain
The
professions.
space station people are up there, 1 hour. And there's truck drivers driving across the country 1 hour.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, they should take a rest.
Oh wait, yeah. That,
I mean,
that was
Tesla
a
has
dumb
some
one.
like autopilot features.
Yeah,
so-
don't they have like a semi coming out?
I mean,
Yeah, they have a semi-
Yeah, I've seen like a picture of something.
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah, but like
I mean, half the shit is concepts that they
Yeah,
sent
yeah.
out.
They have, like, a robot,
I don't think
too,
I've actually
walking around.
seen a Tesla semi yet. But
But yeah, I'm a no. Even though
I'm
you
a-
said yes to my rule.
I'm a yes. I really like it. I think we talked about like the potential complications, but I think it would do a lot for like mental wellness.
I don't think it's gonna do jack for mental wellness, dude. I don't
think-
think art for an hour is gonna do jack.
No,
for
you
it.
don't have to do art.
nap
It's just
time.
it's just
I don't
a
think
time
nap
of,
is gonna do it.
It's a time of lunch and rest, and then the reason it works in Spain is because their schedules work like they work later into
How
the
about
day.
this? You know
Everything's
what?
open later.
I would support if we move this hour to the beginning of the day so people could go to work later. So just be like, wake up later.
That's what they do in Spain. Everything
no.
starts later.
And then they have a middle of the day nap.
Yeah.
And then what happens at the end of the day?
They just work later.
Oh, I see.
Everything's
Okay, that's-
pushed off a little bit.
No, but I'm saying if in this hypothetical we can move the hour to the beginning.
I will say though, that is definitely like the service industry. So I don't know how like hospitals
Yeah.
and their finance industry. I assume it's like a little more rote
Yeah.
and like structured in the early parts of the day.
I mean, if you have like a primary care, office, you might schedule in like an hour block for lunch between.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
what
morning patients
yeah.
and afternoon patients. I mean, I'm sure plenty of doctors have.
Dude, it's like have you ever been to those Indian restaurants where it's like they're closed between the end of lunch and the beginning of dinner?
Yeah.
And you like
But
walk.
they're prepping.
They're
Wait,
just-
end
they're-
of lunch and beginning of dinner?
Yeah.
They're prepping.
They're typically just chilling.
Well, the one
I don't
I've
think they're
been
like
to,
prepping.
they had a lunch buffet in the
Yeah.
beginning of the day, and
Yeah.
they used up all their like stuff, and now
they're prepping for dinner.
For dinner.
Yeah, maybe that's happening in some places. I remember walking in, they're just sitting at, and I was like, this sounds great.
It's like a suburban thing, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, in the cities. Well,
yeah, you
I'm
were
also
in New
from the
York.
suburbs.
Yeah.
I'm from the suburbs though, and I know what you're talking
That
about.
would not
but I think
survive in New York. That model.
That model would not
Yeah,
survive in New York.
like they're everyone be like banging on the window,
Yeah.
like, dude, serve us.
I mean, they do have rush hours. Dinner rush is crazy. Are
Yeah,
you kidding me?
he's planning to add 2 more to the day.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm voting yes. I'm voting yes. You got one yes.
Nope.
I think we do have to work on the complication of like OR schedules, but like I think we can do that. I think that's doable. I'm voting yes. I
Just
like
robot surgery, everything.
just robot
Robot
everything.
surgery.
So you want
Auto surgery.
you need time to advance
Yeah.
like 30 years before we actually get to a reasonable point with that.
Yeah, he's like, once we no longer need to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we can do this. I was
You
like,
can
yeah.
just passionately do
then
what
do
you
it
want,
whatever
and
you
then-
want the whole day. Yeah.
Then nap time is all
Yeah.
day.
What is it? What at your cousin's place? What is this called?
Oh, they call it what I need.
What I need.
Win.
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 What I need.
Because it's a win for everyone.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, especially for the teachers.
Yeah. Cool. All right, we are running out of time. Thank you for joining me, Rishabh.
It was fun.
Rishabh is an M4 med student. He's at the University of Minnesota. He's trying to match into neurosurgery. So, hype him up.
Yeah,
hype him up.
Please.
Let the people reviewing his application see the comments, and hype him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Please like, subscribe. If you want to see Ethan on the podcast more, which I want him to be on the podcast more, but if you want to see him and see his face, leave a like, subscribe, and we'll get you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, of course.
This was a good time.
I'm sorry, baby, I don't mean to be rude. I'm just a little different from all these dudes. Okay.